It is a hot summer day in Old Sacramento, California, and despite the 3-digit air temperature, a large crowd has gathered to witness the return of steam trains to the waterfront. Granite Rock Company 060T number 10 recently emerged from the California State Railroad Museum's shop after a multi-year rebuild, beautifully polished and adorned with patriotic fans. In this video, we'll take a ride behind number 10 along the Sacramento River as she leads her first public excursion since her return to operation. After arriving back in Sacramento with an excursion, the 83-year-old locomotive rotates on the turntable outside the CSRM's museum building and takes on water in between trips. Granite Rock 10 is a Class S100 060T built in 1942 by the H.K. Porter Company for the United States Army during the height of World War II. Numbered 5001, the locomotive worked at the Army Depot in Tracy, California until the end of the war. In 1947, USA 5001 was sold to the Granite Rock Company in Logan, California, and worked at the company's quarry until it was retired from service in 1960. In 1995, after years of sitting idle at the quarry, number 10 was donated to the CSRM, returning to steam 2 years later in 1997. Since that time, the engine has served the CSRM in frequent excursion service on the Sacramento Southern Railroad. Number 10 has also operated for special events, including the museum's Railfair 99, and has made guest appearances at the Niles Canyon Railroad for their steam festivals. After taking on water, number 10 steams down the yard to couple to the front of the excursion train for the next run. The CSRM's excursion trains depart from a historic location in railroad history. It was here on October 26, 1863, that the first spike of the Transcontinental Railroad was driven by the Central Pacific Railroad. This monument was installed in honor of the 150th anniversary of the railroad's completion at Promontory Summit, Utah in 2019. We embark the open-air gondola from the reconstructed Central Pacific Sacramento Depot, getting a nice view of the waterfront prior to departure.
I'm Jack, your narrator. I'd like to welcome you aboard. People have aboard retain their car attendants and steward. We will pause for a moment so the car attendant steward can introduce himself.
Leaving the station, we pass by Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe 210-4, number 5021, and the Delta King paddle-wheel riverboat, with the iconic ziggurat building in the background.
Your museum artifacts. So please help us take care of them by keeping your shoes off before it's a steep. With accepting the first class car, as we travel through the old Sacramento River, you hear the engineer signal the late train's arrival at multiple locations. Ringing the flag, blowing the horn, and sounding the whistle.
The CSRM's Sacramento Southern Railroad operates on a former Southern Pacific branch line. Construction of the railroad began in 1903 with the intention of connecting small agricultural communities along the river with Sacramento. By 1929, the route extended over 30 miles, passing through the towns of Freeport, Hood, Locke, and Walnut Grove before reaching its terminus at Isleton. The Southern Pacific operated the line until the 1970s, when competition from trucks and flooding contributed to its demise. The CSRM began operating excursions on the remaining 3 miles of track in the 1980s, and since that time, the railroad has been a successful and popular operation, attracting nearly 80,000 riders annually. Much of the abandoned grade south of Suttersville is intact, with a potentially bright future in store.
They saw it as a territory of justice and decided to outpace the riverboat traveling the railroad. The riders of Granite Rock were so fruitful because of their fruitful. After the petition passed out in the road, they were not doing the railroad. Traffic was on the way. Some returned to China. These pioneers built wagons, ran marshes, transformed wetlands into streams. They supported the agricultural industry. They created a new frontier that was like practical action, not for trade, but for storytelling.
The train has reached Bath's Siding, where today's excursion will pause briefly before beginning the return trip to Old Sacramento. Number 10 will push the train in reverse from Bath's to the siding at Miller Park, where number 10 will run around the train.
We're going to stop at Bath's. locomotive in the rear of our train will be coming
At Miller
down
Park,
those tracks
across the street from the Sacramento Marina,
to the foot of
Granite Rock 10 runs around the train
Now, as
before
we
resuming the
return,
northbound trip.
locomotive comes to visit and go to restaurants, shops, and museums. But in the 19th century, this place was known as Sacramento City. Get off the train, and go to our place of took 14 years to go, 1820, 1833 because of the floods. Most of the people out there are trying to He's on staffing the things out there making the track. So it's something. You have to make this and and no training commitments. And I said that the law was a federal railroad administration regulation that government all railroad authorities. And beginning in November and December,
As we cross Capitol Mall, we get a brief view of the California State Capitol building.
we're now approaching Old Sacramento and we're coming to Sacramento Southern. Here's your main city, and the car in front of the store will tell you when it's safe to leave.
We have arrived back in Sacramento. After the riders disembark the train, Number 10 is cut off to take on water and be put away as our video draws to a close. The original plan for the day was to have number 10 haul 2 more excursions in the afternoon, but searing 100-degree weather makes for a miserably hot experience for the train crew inside the steam locomotive's cab, even with the delta breeze that the Sacramento River provides. Despite this early conclusion, number 10's return to the rails was enjoyed by train crews, riders, and railroad buffs alike, and we look forward to this venerable locomotive's continued operation on the California State Railroad Museum's Sacramento Southern Railroad. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed day.